Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to talk about hobby pleasures for 2019. See, 2018 is nearly over, 2 days left of it, in fact, and 2019 should be the year that you properly get on with all that 40k or Age of Sigmar, or whatever game it is that you play. Stuff that you have thought you would get done this year and perhaps didn't quite get round to it. So I thought something that might be nice and that might be a bit fun is to tell you what I intend to do in 2019 in terms of Warhammer 40k, in terms of building armies, playing games, all of that kind of thing. And in return, you put in the comments what you are pledging to do, what you intend to get done in the 12 months of 2019. If that's an unfinished army that you finally want to get sorted, if that's a brand new army that you've never played before that you've always wanted, but decided to finally take the plunge and actually start collecting that force, if it's some sort of hobby project shame that has been sat in a box for the last 4 years that you've never quite really plucked up the courage to properly tackle, but feel like you probably should at this point, all of this is valid, all of this is proper good hobby pledge fodder. So for me, it's firstly finishing off the Redemptor mob, the army that is going to be nothing but Redemptor Dreadnoughts. That's actually coming on fairly quickly. I have another 2 Dreadnoughts on the way, which will bring the total up to 5, and I think I need another 4 more after that, and then 2 Tech Marines to round out the force and make about 2,000 points worth of stupid Dreadnought goodness. Of course, every single one of them is kit bashed in some way. They've all got some sort of twist to them. None of them are going to be standard because I can't do that. There is some sort of thing wrong with me where I cannot just leave models standard. I have to add at least just something, anything. Doesn't even have to be that much. I mean, my Primaris force, which is down the back there, all I did was head swaps on those, but I still had to do something to them, even though they're pretty much fine the way they were, let's be honest. I mean, in the case of the Knight up there, I always get confused as to what side things are on. All that has is the wing of a Demon Prince attached to it by chains, but it's still got the wing of a Demon Prince attached to it by chains. I couldn't even leave that standard, even though the Knight kit is, in my opinion, one of the best kits Games Workshop makes. It was great fun to build and great fun to paint. Still couldn't leave it alone. So the first thing that I want to get done in 2019 is finish off my Redemptor Dreadnought army and take it to Warhammer World. I did not get to visit Warhammer World at all last year. I just didn't have chance. I had a new baby. There was just too much in the way of work and children and God knows what else, and I just never managed to make the trip. That's going to change in 2019. One of the first things I intend to do with the Redemptor mob when it's finished is take it to Warhammer World and play several of the amazing, funny, awesome people that I interact with a lot on Twitter who are also heavily involved in the hobby. Like I really want to go up against Vincent Notley's Deathstrike army, because it's awesome, it's fucking great, it's basically the inspiration behind making my stupid Dreadnought army. I want to fight Scarlet, I want to fight everybody, basically. I just want to take that army, like, every now and again, and just have massive battles with it. It may never win, and I don't care, that's not the point. I wanted to do something different and silly, and that's what I decided to do, a massive kit-bashed Redemptor mob with which to lose many a fight, hopefully at Warhammer World, which is part of the pledge. Actually get to Warhammer World at some point, any point, I don't care, as often as I possibly can, basically. I don't want to miss any of the open days, I don't want to miss any of the events, I want to actually make sure I can get there this year, and the mob is tied into that quite heavily. So once I finish the Redemptor mob, it will be pushing on with attempting to finish the Emperor's Children army. See, I'm hoping by the time the Redemptor mob is done, we will know what's happening with Chaos Marines, because when I know what's happening with Chaos Marines, I can get cracking with troops for my Emperor's Children. To be honest, I kind of have a lot of the stuff I already need. I've got my Obliterator sorted, I've got my Terminator sorted, I'm constructing a Demon Prince as we speak, I've got the Typhon Heavy Siege tank back there, I've got a Dreadnought that's going to act as a Hellbrute. I do want to get a Hell Drake, which will be, again, kit bashed, but for the bulk of the force, I need to know what's happening with the actual Chaos Space Marines, and I have to wait for that. See, I really like the design of the ones we saw in Blackstone Fortress, and I don't want to sit there and make my own that won't be quite as nice as the ones that I could potentially already get. So, whilst there are other things that I'm doing for that army, the bulk of the force, I'm waiting to see what happens, essentially. So, as soon as I know what's going on with that, hopefully it'll be about the time the Redemptor mob is done, I want to push on and finish the Emperor's Children army, because then that will lead on to whatever project I come up with next. It may well end up being simply some demons to go with my Emperor's Children. That is quite likely. I do like the Demons of Slaanesh. I especially like the new Fiends, and I really like the new Herald. The Demonettes, I can... they're okay. I'm not particularly fussed about them, but there are some nice looking units in there that I would quite like to bulk out my Emperor's Children with. So that'll most likely be the next thing. But in terms of things like kit bash projects, because there's always got to be some of those, it'll likely end up being more Dreadnoughts because I'm getting kind of addicted to them. And I want to spread out a little bit. Have some old standard Dreadnoughts. Have some Venerable Dread, some Ironclads. I'd quite like to actually grab some stuff from Forge World. I really want the I'm going to pronounce it wrong. The Derrideo Dreadnought, Derrideo, whatever. All the massive guns on it. That one, the Leviathan, a couple of Contempt. Basically, all the Forge World Dreadnoughts is what I want. So it'll most likely turn into that once the Emperor's Children are complete. But I do also have some ideas for some Slaanesh Imperial Knights. So that should be fun as well. But my main pledges are the Redemptor mob. To take that mob to Warhammer World and fight people with it and lose gloriously, spectacularly, with onslaught Gatling cannons going off everywhere until they explode. That's 2 pledges in one. And the second is to complete my Emperor's Children army, not just finish assembling but completely paint it as well, and hopefully start taking that to Warhammer World as well. Question is, what is yours? What are you going to do in 2019? What projects do you have lined up? What are you going to see through to the end? What have you decided absolutely has to be done? You will do it no matter what. Let me know in the comments below, and if there's anyone who has any ideas for stuff they might want to do but aren't sure, ask in the comments. There'll be someone who knows what the hell they're talking about who'll be able to help. Talk to each other, find out what each other are doing, and do it. Actually get on and do it. That's the most important bit about making this kind of thing, or making this sort of pledge, is you actually say, I'm going to do this, and then you go through with it. It's a little bit New Year's resolution-y, but let's be honest, most New Year's resolutions are cack, whereas a hobby pledge is better because it involves the hobby and not just boring shit like dieting or exercise, because who fucking cares about that? So yeah, let me know what your pledges are in the comments down below, and in the meantime, I'm actually streaming right now over at twitch.tv/Kirioth, doing a bit of a late birthday celebration. Oh, it was my birthday on Christmas Day, hilariously. So I'm going to be doing a late birthday, Christmas/early New Year stream where I drink whiskey and play Rocksmith. So if that sounds like fun, it might not. It might do. If it does, it'd be nice. Just go to the Twitch channel right now. There's a link in the description, and I'll be streaming for your viewing and maybe listening pleasure, but possibly not. We'll see how well that goes. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, subscribe, all of that shit. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.